Overwatch 2 has many different characters and abilities. The most dominant are a character's ultimate. They have the power to shift any fight into your favor in the game. However, some tend to be more powerful than others. In today's video, I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I believe are the top 5 worst ultimates in Overwatch 2. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing. Enjoy. So guys, kicking off this list, we have Bastion. The first reason why I put Bastion on here is because his ultimate makes you stationary. So if you guys don't know, Bastion ult was changed from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, and basically what his ult does now is it puts you in a stationary position and you fire your shots like an artillery. So even though Bastion gets 3 of these artillery shots when he uses his ultimate, I still think his ult is fairly weak. The first thing about his ultimate is that he has slow projectiles, so when he shoots them, it takes a long time for the artillery strikes to actually land down where you place them, and by the time you shoot them off, people know they're coming and can easily dodge and react to them. Now that's not to say Bastion ult is that bad, but there's just a lot of other better DPS ults in the game. For example, if you're going up against competition such as a Genji ult, Soldier ult, Reaper ult, 3 DPS ults just that I can name off the top of my head that are just way better than Bastion's ult. That's not to mention that you have to be stationary to use this ability, so it does make you vulnerable, especially if you have to use it very quickly in a team fight or something, right? You're not always going to be going to the best possible position, so it can leave you vulnerable to getting attacked, especially by, for example, a Roadhog hook. That's not to say Bastion ult is the worst one on this list though, right? There is some upsides to it if used correctly, so it can be used as a zoning tool if you place it behind the enemy. Another upside to Bastion is that his ultimate does have a very long range, so for example, if you're retaking on King of the Hill maps, it can be used from his spawn to help support, especially if you're not going to be making it back to the site in time. But in my opinion, the cons far outweigh the benefits of using Bastion ult, so I just use it on cooldown whenever I get it, just try to get a little bit of value out of it whenever I can. It seems like Bastion ult was specifically designed to just help his damage output a little bit, but I feel like Blizzard could do a much better job at balancing this ability. Right now it feels pretty underpowered. I think the biggest change they could make to this ability is just to increase the projectile speed on his artillery strikes. This would help make his ult feel much more impactful, especially using it during a team fight rather than just as a zoning tool. Taking our 4th spot on this list, we're gonna have D.Va. So the main downside of D.Va's ultimate is that it's very easily avoidable. Now, especially since there is less crowd control in the game switching from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, people can hide from this ability very easily. And the reason people can hide from it very easily is because it takes a long time to charge up and actually explode. So that's the first reason why I don't think it's very good. Another reason why I don't think D.Va ult's very good is because it makes you vulnerable as baby D.Va when you use your ultimate. Now, I can't name any other tank ult that actually makes you weaker once you use your ultimate, and this is a very vulnerable time for D.Va to actually get killed once she is in baby D.Va form out of her ulti. Another thing about D.Va's ultimate as well is that there is other ultimates in the game now that do the exact same thing that D.Va's ult is trying to do. So D.Va's ult is trying to create space by bombing basically a big AoE area, and now that Ramattra exists, his ult is just infinitely better than D.Va's ult, right? He gains movement speed during his ultimate, makes him way more tanky, and during D.Va's ult, you're more vulnerable because you're out of your ultimate and you're in baby D.Va form. Now I know you might be thinking, Halzeey, what about those clips on Reddit I see where D.Va ult gets like a 3 to 4k with her ultimate? Yes, D.Va's ult does have the potential to get multi-kills, but I still think that Ramattra's ult is 20 times better than D.Va's ult ever will be. Especially in their current state, there's no reason to ever pick D.Va over Ramattra. However, D.Va's ult can be good on maps that are push because D.Va's ult can go over walls. So if you just launch it over a wall in a push map, right, you have the potential to get a 3 to 4k, which forces the enemy off the site. Overall, not the worst one in the game, but definitely there is a lot better ultis. What I would do to change her ultimate is definitely decrease the amount of times it takes for her ultimate to actually pop. Even if they did it by 0.5 seconds, it would make D.Va a significantly better character than what she is right now. Now, that's not to say D.Va's a bad character, but her ultimate definitely could use a tune-up. I know this one's gonna be a little controversial, but let me know what you guys think. Next up, I'm gonna have Hanzo Ult, and the reason why I put Hanzo Ult on here is because his dragon honestly is one of the easiest ultimates to dodge in the entire game. If the Hanzo isn't shooting it through a wall, you can see it coming from a mile away, and this is due to its size, right, the speed of how fast the ultimate actually comes. It gives you so much time to move out of the way from the ultimate where it honestly just has very little value. The main way Hanzo Ult is actually used is it's just used to cut up a team, right? It's used to split off an entire enemy team. It's not actually used for the damage. That being said, Hanzo, when he isn't paired with Zarya, it is a very weak ulti, but if he is paired with Zarya, it can make for, plays of the game. Now, the way Hanzo's ult ult could be better is if they just increase the dragon speed a little bit. So if they increased how fast the dragons move, honestly, I think that would make Hanzo a lot better of a pick, because right now they just move way too slow. Now the runner-up for worst ult in the game, I'm gonna have to put Brigette here. Now there is a few signature errors that Brigette's ultimate actually has. So the reason it's not very good is it forces you to team fight. So Brigette's ultimate rally basically just gives you overheal and to your teammates around you, and the timing on using this ability is actually quite difficult to get down correctly, as it only does last 10 seconds. It's very important you use this ultimate at a crucial moment in the game. On top of this, Brigette is very weak in the current meta right now, and there isn't a lot of people actually playing her. There's many different ultimates in the game in the support role that do almost identically the same thing that Brigitte's ult does. For example, the main one that comes to mind is Lucio's ult. Lucio's ult, similar to Brigette, he offers a huge AoE shield for your team and also can use his speed boost amplified shortly after. This is going to give you the same, if not way better value than Brigitte's ultimate is going to be giving, and a lot more utility. Now, will we see Brigette buffs sometime in the future? Probably not. Blizzard has a love-hate relationship with her, and they are kind of scared to buff her, to be honest, because she used to be the best character in Overwatch 1 for a very long time. So Blizzard kind of just, they're making her weak on purpose, I'm pretty sure. She does have her niche in dive comps, but honestly, most of the time you can just play Lucio. And the worst ult in the game has to be Widowmaker's ultimate. Think about it. Why would you need wall hacks in a game where you're primarily seeing the enemies at all times anyways? While yes, it can help find flankers such as Genji and Tracer when they're going for a flank play, most of the time the enemy is going to be right in front of your face regardless. That being said, I do think Widowmaker's ult can be good if you're very proficient with her, but for the average player that doesn't really necessarily hit 100% of the headshots with her at all times, right, her ultimate's kind of useless. Like, the utility provides is kind of useless. There's literally no reason for you to have to see the enemies in Overwatch 2, right? Most of the time, like I was saying before, they are in front of you. The way Widowmaker's ult could be better is by adding damage to her ulti when she uses it. So instead of just giving her wall hack, she could get a little bit of a damage increase. Not one-shot body shots, but just something to give her that little bit of a pump. Or what they could do is just make her charge shot charge quicker. That way it could be like a Cassie ult when nobody actually wants to peek Widow while she's ulting, right? When Widow is ulting, you're not really too scared of it, especially if you're playing something like a Winston or something slippery like a Tracer or Genji. I just feel like Widowmaker has to have more of a threat when she uses her ultimate. Now, with Overwatch having many different ultimate abilities, it's more than likely you guys have a different opinion than mine. If that's the case, make sure to leave your thoughts down below in the comments on your top 5 worst ultimates and what you thought of my list. Honestly, this list was actually pretty difficult to make. There was a lot of ultimates that I probably could have put on here, some that maybe I could have left out in exchange for others, but as of right now, this is my definitive top 5 list of worst ultimates. As more patches come to the game, maybe my thoughts will change and, some ultimates will be buffed, some ultimates will be nerfed. But I do think the 5 characters I put on this list definitely need a little bit of a tune-up with their current ultimate ability states. If you did enjoy today's video, make sure to drop a like down below and also subscribe to the channel. I am posting daily Overwatch, fellas. Daily Overwatch. Can't get enough of it. Anyways, my name is Halzeey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.